Okay, so that's one question is what do I want instead? Now, another question that I think can be really, really powerful is what do I need to learn? Or you could phrase it as what do I need to do differently? They're different questions, so you could treat those as two different questions, or they could be alternative questions that you could ask. Try them both. So, what do I need to learn? What do I need to do differently? See, a lot of the time, like I said, we've become hypnotized, perceiving ourselves as victims. And this hypnosis goes so deep that we really don't recognize it. It really takes a lot of sincere self-honesty and reflection in order to recognize this, to recognize just how deep that hypnosis goes, to actually start to recognize and reclaim your real power. You are a creative being. You are responsible for your experience 100%. So anything that runs counter to that is part of that hypnosis that says, I am a victim. So if there's anything that I make responsible for my experience that's outside of me, that's the result of hypnosis. That's not helpful at all. So the questions are intended to at least momentarily help a person to awaken to their authentic power. So again, I'm proposing have a positive expectation, be sincere, be honest with yourself, and don't settle for any kind of insincere or superficial answer, but actually demand sincere answers that actually help you to make positive changes. And so it should be that these questions should reveal to you that you are empowered to make changes, that you actually are empowered, always empowered to make all the choices that you are making. You've just been making most of them unconsciously, but you can be conscious and you can make those choices consciously. So, but it really starts with acknowledging that that's your power. It's not outside of you. So nobody else can choose your experience for you. Nobody else and no external conditions determine that. So then, it's what do I need to learn, or what could I learn, or what can I do differently so that I can have a different experience? So again, the presupposition most of the time is that I am a victim. And as I've already said, that hypnosis runs so deep that I can't overstate how important it is. So a lot of people will make the mistake of thinking, "Oh, I get that. I understand that." And then they'll not really recognize just how deeply it goes. They'll settle for something relatively superficial. They'll say, "Oh yeah, no, I get it. I understand everything there is to know about perceiving myself as a victim. I'm a complete expert at that," which would be a terrible mistake to make if you want actually to know your real power and live from that. So I really recommend that just keep that as an ongoing inquiry. Don't settle for any answer in regard to that. Just continually investigate and notice how deep it goes. The assumption, the hypnosis that you are a victim. And then use these questions to help yourself learn. So when you ask the question like, what do I need to learn, or what could I learn in this moment, in this situation, from this experience? It's necessary to ask that very sincerely. And so because you could ask that insincerely, and then it would just feed into the same pattern of victimization where you say, oh, well, it's woe is me. I'll never learn. It's too hard. You could do that. But what I'm suggesting is something quite different than that, is to say, there's something here that I can learn. And In fact, this experience is so that I can learn exactly this. And it's all here for me. It's all here. The lesson is spelled out clearly for me. I need only to really open my eyes to see it. I need to listen with the proper kind of listening, and then I can recognize that. So the question is really a prompt to open yourself and shift to that kind of way of perceiving, to really start to understand there is something here. So I'm not a victim of this experience. That's the old way. The old way is, oh, it's not fair. It's happening again. I'll never be free of this. It's too hard. It's too much for me. It's not, other people don't have it as hard as me. I've tried so hard. Nobody else has tried as hard as me. I've done everything. Nothing works. I mean, it's probably some of this is probably familiar to you, right? And that old way clearly does not give the real results that you want. It's just reinforces being a victim. So it keeps you stuck. You don't make the changes. So this question, what could I learn, or what do I need to learn? It shifts that. It shifts the whole way of looking at it, and it will be very useful because it's actually more truthful. So it points to that there is something here for me. It's not against me. I'm not a victim of life. It's not like life is just suffering. This is to point out that I've just been living in ignorance. That's why I've been suffering. I've been suffering because I was misunderstanding this. I was thinking that all of this was just suffering. I was thinking that it's unfair. I was thinking that I have to just wait this out and someday maybe my luck will turn. I've been thinking in all these wrong ways that have been giving me the wrong results. So the question then prompts for a new way of perceiving and opens me up so that I can start to recognize, okay, I am a creative and an empowered being. I am creating my experience. So this is also part of this experience is part of that as well. This experience, I've also created this experience. And I clearly want a different outcome. So then inherent in this is that there's something here for me to learn so that I can achieve the outcome that I want. If I just keep doing things the same way and I expect a different outcome, well, that's insanity. So I'm ready to be sane. I'm ready to start actually looking at this in a useful and empowered and sane way and find out, okay, what is it? What do I need to learn here so that I can achieve the results that I want instead of just staying stuck?